welcome to my channel Little Tummy. आज Sunday morning है, so I plan to share a recipe with you. Well, it's an Austrian delicacy. It's a pastry which is flaky and buttery. Well, it's a croissant. So I'll start the recipe with making a dough from the scratch. Then follow me on this recipe now. Now we are beginning with the recipe. For the recipe, I have taken a big bowl since we have to combine all the ingredients together. So now let's start dropping the things into the bowl. I have taken almost 2 1/4 cup of whole flour. Now since this is a whole flour and croissants are made from these things, you can replace this flour with oats or whatever is suitable for you for a healthy croissant. Now I'm preparing this dough right now. I'm not using any sheets for this croissant, so we have to knead the dough and then keep it for some time. Now for the rest of the ingredients, I'm using an instant yeast. This is 2 tablespoons of yeast. I'm dropping it inside. Almost 1 tablespoon of salt. Now this is a gur. This gur has been converted into a powder. You can get this powder available in any of the stores. Now I'm using this option because most of us don't like to eat more of sugar, so gur is a good option to eat. Now if you really don't like the taste of gur, you can replace this with an equal amount of sugar, a granulated sugar. So the gur was available to me at home, so I'm using a gur instead of sugar. To this I'm adding almost 1.5 tablespoon of butter. This butter is at room temperature, to which I'm adding 1 egg yolk. This is a medium egg I've taken. And now let's just mix it well together with the help of a spatula. Now once we have just mixed it with the help of a spatula, I'll drop almost 1/6 cup of milk. This milk is a little warm, not cold. And once I have done this, let me use a blender and start mixing them all together. Now along with the milk, I'm adding the same quantity of water. That means 1/6 cup of water. So the quantity of milk and water remains the same. Now let's mix it well with the help of a blender one more time. So if you can see, I have mixed everything together with the help of this blender. You can use your hands if it's not available at your home or you feel comfortable kneading the dough with your hands. So everything has been combined well. Now just pick up the dough and keep rotating like this for 2 to 3 times. And now we just keep this dough in this bowl and then cover it with a head cover, or you can say of the bowl, or you can use a cling foil if you have this at home. And now keep this dough and refrigerate it for overnight. And after the dough is refrigerated, it becomes a little hard, and then we process further. Now I've taken out this bowl of dough overnight, which has been kept in the fridge. Now just remove this cover from the top and let's see how does the dough look like. Now I'm removing this dough from the bowl and then placing it on a clean slab. Now I'm just sprinkling some flour in this, and I'll just knead this dough once more on the slab before I roll it. Now what I've done is I've just rolled this dough a shape. You can just roll it lengthwise, or you can actually need a piece of a square. So I'm rolling it this way. Now once you have rolled this dough, keep this dough aside for some time, and then we take out a tray of butter. Now what I've taken is I've taken a white butter. This is almost 120 grams of butter. You can take a yellow butter as well. So what I'll do is I'll cut them into small pieces. Your butter should not be very soft, and if it's soft, just keep it for some time in the fridge so that it doesn't melt when you're rolling a roller on top of this. Now I've cut them into pieces. Let them just put one more parchment paper on top of it and then roll it into a sheet. Now I just put a parchment paper on top of this butter pieces. What I'll do is, with the help of a roller, just give it a tap slowly so that the butter comes all together and easy for you to roll on top of it. Now once you have this tapped properly on top of the butter, just give it a roll on the sheet so that, if you can see, the butter comes together and becomes like a thin sheet. So keep rolling it slowly and gradually from all the directions. Just rotate your parchment paper and it should become a little sheet, because we need to keep this sheet of butter in between the dough. Now see, if I roll this butter between the parchment paper, and if I remove this parchment paper, it becomes a little like a sheet. Now what you will do is, you will now transfer this onto the dough. Now what I've done is, I've just placed this dough, and on top of it I've just placed this butter which I've rolled into a sheet. Now gently remove this parchment paper from this butter, and now what we'll do is just stretch with your hands the dough from the edges so that it just comes out more wider compared to the butter, because we have to fold this dough onto the butter equally from both the sides. Now once I've done this, just gently close it from both the edges and just tap it for some time, giving it a good knead on top of it. Now gently press it properly, giving it a shape so that the butter is easily incorporated within the dough. Now once you've done this, just fold your dough this side, and we take a tray and then keep the dough on the tray. Now what I've done is taken a tray and then placed a parchment paper. It's the same old parchment paper where I've done the buttering portion. Now keep this on the tray covered for almost like 1 to 2 hours so that it chills, and then we take it out again. Now it's been almost 2 hours that this dough has been resting in the fridge. Now let's remove this cover from the top, and I remove this from this paper. Now let's just dust the floor of the kitchen slab and just gently press your dough with the help of this roller, because since it's been resting for 2 hours, it goes a little harder. Press it gently so that it loosens up, and now keep rolling this piece of dough so that it elongates in size. I'm just giving it a roll from both the sides. Now why I've added this butter slice, or that portion of butter, into this pastry dough was that it will give that extra softness and that extra layers when it goes to baking. If you don't add butter, then softness and the flakiness within this croissant won't come easily. So I've flattened this now. Now do the same process again what we have done before we have put this into the fridge, is that I'm just putting it layer by layer on top of it, and then giving it one more rolling over this dough again from both the sides, so that whatever butter was there inside this dough will spread equally on all the portion. And now again keep the same tray back, and then we put the same dough in a similar manner as before on the same tray and cover it with this cover on all the edges of this dough again, and refrigerate for almost 1 to 2 hours. So it's been now almost 1 hour for the second round, and I've taken out the tray from the fridge. Now we'll do the same process again. Just dust some flour on the slab, and now we again take out the piece of this dough from this covering portion, and then keep it again here with doing the same process. Just push it down from all the ends so that it's easy for you to roll it, so that this butter gets everywhere within the dough. Now we don't want the butter to get soft, so I'm not keeping it dough anytime outside the fridge. As soon as I just give it a roll and cover it, I'll keep it back inside the fridge. If this butter melts, that softness and flakiness within this croissant will be lost. So just give it a roll properly from both the sides. So you can see this, I've been rolling this sheet of dough so that this butter gets everywhere and the smoothness within this croissant comes all together. Now again do the same process. Fold it back in the same way as we have already done 2 times before, and give it a tap on this same tray on the parchment paper, and then we again cover it in a similar manner on 4 edges properly, and then cover it and keep it again for 1 hour. In the meantime, this process has to be done for almost like 4 to 5 times. Once this has been set properly, the butter is well incorporated, then we make the final cutting in the sheet. Now I've taken out the dough from the fridge, and it was like 4 to 5 times I have taken it out in almost like after 1 hour, and then give it a roll, and then again I have put it back in the fridge. So after like 4 to 5 times I have taken out the dough finally for the final working on it, and I'm kneading the dough after sprinkling some flour on the slab. Now what I will do is I'll divide this dough into 2 pieces because it's a bigger dough and we don't want that big sheet right now. So we'll keep the remaining at one end and then work on the remaining end. Now once I've done this, just roll this now on this slab. I'm rolling this sheet along every corner of the dough, and just sprinkle enough amount of flour on the base so that this dough, because it has a lot of butter in it, it might become flaky when you don't have enough flour on the bottom, so it might stick to your roller. So I'm just giving it a roll, and we'll give it a shape once it's been rolled properly from all the edges. Now what I've done is I've just given it a good irregular shape because I've flattened it from all the edges of the dough. Now what I'll use is a pizza cutter and then slice off the extra portion of this dough, because we don't want anything that is irregular. You can use this remaining portion later on. Now I've just rolled it everything finely and cut the remaining extra pieces. So this is what a rectangular piece looks like. Now with the same pizza cutter, what I'll do is I'll mark 3 cuttings. See if I'm using 3, and then on the opposite end also I'll do the same, because I have to cut small rectangular pieces, and I'll remove this. So this is what the 3 pieces I have taken out, and from this 3 pieces let's just cut the remaining pieces in the diagonal shape like this. So now we have separate pieces for separate corners. Now these are all the pieces that I have cut, 6 pieces. Now I'm keeping one by one. Let's make a slit at this piece, and now let's start folding. This is a simple first. Just keep stretching and rolling at the same time. So if you keep stretching and rolling, this will come into its entire shape what we actually need. So the first croissant is made, and just close it at the one end and keep it on the already greased plate. This is the same parchment paper that I'm using and already buttered it. Now let's start putting it. This was a simple one. Now let's just start making the filled croissant. Now this is the second one. The similar way, we make a slit, and now I'm keeping a piece of chocolate. This is a regular chocolate that is available in your shop, and now just start folding this chocolate in a similar manner that we have done, stretching this end a little away from the croissant and just keep rotating. And this is done. Let's just keep this again. And now we take the third piece. Now the third croissant. This time I'm using a mixed fruit jam, or you can take any of your jams. You can use peanut butter, you can use any Nutella. So this goes a similar way. Keep stretching this portion away and roll this. That's it, and then keep it. Another piece, similar way, slit it. Now I'm using a peanut butter. It's all up to you whether you want fillings into your croissant. Well, keeping a filling will give you more extra taste. And then roll it in a very similar manner. This hand needs to just pull this one. The longer, the better. And then just keep it here. Now I'm adding another filling into it, that is the Nutella. Just drop a little, because it's a little sticky and softer than the peanut butter. Just give it a roll with your hands. It sticks, so I'm just rolling it this way. And then keep it on the plate. Now all the croissants are ready. I've made it simple as well as the filled one. Now I've kept my oven at 180 degrees Celsius for preheating. Now before I just place these in the oven, let me just grease the top portion of my croissant. I'm using 1 egg, using the egg yolk of the egg. Just break your egg and then separate your egg yolk. Now I've taken this egg yolk and I'm just putting almost a tablespoon of fresh cream. Now this is a little solid. Just mix them both together. Now I've mixed both of them together, the egg yolk and almost a tablespoon of fresh cream. Now I'll just do it is just coat them on top of each of the croissants very gently from all the sides. Just coated all of them now from the left, right and everywhere. If you feel you can coat, you just coat them so that they don't dry up and they have that crust, that golden glaze coming over when it starts baking. And now we just place these in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for almost like 10 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown and fluffy. Now just thought of actually adding something before I just place them into the oven. I've taken these chopped flakes of almonds, just place them on few of them for that extra nutty flavor. I don't want all of them to be covered with this, but the one that I really like, I'll just place them on top of them. At least we get some nutty flavors, not on all of them but on some of them. Now it's done, and then now just place it in the oven. Okay, my croissants are ready. I have taken this out after almost 15 to 16 minutes till they were all golden color, and look at this. Look at this. They're brown from both the ends. Most of the almond flakes have fallen down while just bringing them out. So the sheen on this croissant looks so nice because of that egg wash. And now just transfer this onto a plate for serving. So my croissants are just placed on the plate. Now what I'll do is final touching on the almond croissant. I've taken this granulated sugar, just dust them lightly on the almond flakes, and there goes the white shining croissant. That's an optional part. You can add it or not depending upon you. So they are ready to be eaten, and doing the strawberry syrup on one of them. Just lightly glaze them. So your super flaky and buttery croissants are ready. Enjoy this dish anytime at home. Make it, and with your evening snacks or your evening tea. And if you like this recipe, please subscribe to my channel, write a comment and share with your friends. For next update, keep waiting. Have a nice day and bye-bye.